Are you over the halfway mark of the pre-season? How's it all going so far?
Despite the fake tans today, Liv, we all haven't been on a European summer. We've been working incredibly hard in this pre-season block, and to be honest, we've been working hard since January in the off-season as well. So it's really great to now see that all of that hard work come together. We get to go out and play match sim today as well, which is even more exciting. So we can just keep building on those fundamentals as well. It's good.
Obviously, pre-season can be a little bit brutal. Has anyone impressed you really so far? Any standout?
Yeah, certainly. I think, like I said, everyone's been bringing their strengths and really focusing on their role, which is always exciting to see. Philly Seth's been unreal in the back line. Her high-speed running is like no other, so hats off to Philly. She's also been playing a few different roles as well, been going up on the wing, playing a bit of forward as well. She did kick 3 goals for East Fremantle in the Waffle this year as well in one game, which is awesome. Laura Pugh, the ultimate utility, she claims she's going to kick 1,000 goals like Buddy Franklin, so I'd back her in to do that, as well as the likes of Hayley Miller bursting out of the stoppage. She's really great at that. It's been good to see, and someone like Maddie Scanlon in the backline with me has also really impressed as well. She's taking some massive marks, and her confidence is growing week to week. So hats off to all those girls. They've been amazing, but again, all the girls are working hard, and it's good to just see the growth.
And you've had quite a few new faces in the group this year, 6 new girls this season. How have they slotted into the side so far?
So nicely, and I would say that's because of our amazing welcoming environment that we create here at Freo, not just the players but the staff as well. I think it's really great to see girls coming from different backgrounds and also different AFLW experiences as well. We've got Gabby Newton, who was at the Bulldogs. Gabby with 2 last names as well. I can never say Gabby's 2 last names, but Gabba, we call her, is from the Gold Coast, so she brings experience from there. And then we've got the likes of Holly Eifeld, Tanisha Kokowak as well, who have played in that under-18s level as well, coming into a high-performance environment. They've been absolutely incredible. So they're just to name a few. We have got a lot of others. Ash Braz as well. So funny. Ash was actually my netball idol growing up, so it's a pinch myself moment every time I see her. My mum's going to have a coronary when she finally gets to meet her, but it's been unreal to have her experience, especially in the leadership space as well. So it's been awesome.
So speaking of the leadership space, obviously congrats on being voted in this year by your peers. How much does it mean to you?
Oh, it means so much to me. I feel so proud of myself, but also just, I guess, in awe that it's actually occurred. So I'm very honoured to be in the position I'm in, and I think even more honoured that my peers have voted me in and the girls back me in to keep bringing what I'm bringing and be my authentic self, which I'm always going to be unapologetically me, and I love that the girls love that and they back me in to do that, which I think is really important. But I think what's most important is that this is an area I want to keep growing in, and there's so much to learn, and I'm surrounded by, I would say, some of the best leaders in the competition. We've got girls ranging from, Braz, I'm going to throw her age out there, at 34 all the way through to 18, and I just think it's so great to see a group of leaders and empower others to be leaders as well, because the more girls that we can empower to be leaders, the more successful we're going to be. So I'm really pumped for this season.
Have you seen much growth in yourself from when you first started to now, and how you've evolved into the leader that you are today?
Yes, certainly. I think for me it would just be maturing as a player and a person as well. I think coming in as a 19-year-old, not actually knowing the game very well, was really tough, and I think it's something that it takes time to develop. And I think for me, having more knowledge of the game enables me to not only play my role consistently, but I can actually pass on that knowledge as well, because I'm comfortable doing what I do now. And I think that's the main point of difference, is that I've learnt the game, I've developed my own game, I'm also still learning as well, and I think being able to have those vulnerable conversations to say that I'm still learning and I'm still growing and there's areas that I need to improve on, I think that transparency makes good leaders what they are, and that's what I've seen from the likes of Ange Stannard, Hayley Miller, Laura Pugh, Anya Tai, Ash Braz, who are in my leadership group with me. So I think being able to model what they do in my own way is really important.
Now, you had All-Australian honours last year. Do you have any key takeaways from last season and key focuses that you'll take into this year?
Yeah, I think the All-Australian is just a bonus. Like, you don't play for the individual accolades, you play for the team success, and I'm just really excited to keep building on what Lisa's trying to implement here at Freo. Like I said, I play with my teammates. I love my girls. I love my sisters. We go out there each and every week and have each other's backs. I leave my back out there most games as well. So I think if I just can keep doing that and going in with an individual purpose each game, but knowing that ultimately it's for what we're trying to, like we're here to try and achieve a premiership as well. So just bringing it back to that is always what you want to do. And like I said, the individual accolades will come if you end up having a good season, but you go out there to win a flag.
And you backline coach this year and your ex-teammate Cara Antonio. How has it been so far to have her back in a new capacity?
We love Juddy. She's so tough. And I think the best thing about Juddy is she wouldn't tell you to do something that she wasn't willing to do herself. And I think that is why she has such respect from the playing group, is because we've seen her go out there with 0 knees, because she really hasn't had any for the last 6 years, and able to take those, like that body work advice from her, that contested marking advice, because that's what she's good at. So I think her providing that insight and advice, knowing she's been in our shoes, is amazing, and it's invaluable, to be honest. So I think we really need to take on board what Juddy's saying, as well as the professionalism elements as well. Be here early, be the last to leave, be the first into the huddle, get around your teammates. They're all the things that Juddy's instilled in us from day one as captain and all the way through now as our coach as well.
Now, just segueing back into the leadership group for a second, a bit of a unique structure to the group this year. Can you tell us a bit about how this will play out over the season and the discussions you guys have had so far?
Yes, I think you see in the media at the moment there's a lot of external noise as to why we voted in a non-playing player as our captain, but I think it's just a testament to Ange Stannett's character. She's a great human being. Her empathy is second to none, and she just wants to bring the group and connect everyone together and bring them along for the ride. So I think regardless of if she's playing, she's going to continue to do that, and I think her qualities in that are something that we back in to do each and every day, and I think it's going to be really beneficial having 3 vice captains out there as well, in Laura Pugh, Anya Tai and Hayley Miller. And I think Hayley has had the most impressive off-season and pre-season of her career. I'm so excited to see her play her role, but also she'll still be tossing the coin each week. So will Laura, so will Anya, and they're going to be our on-field leaders as well as Braz and I. And like I said, I have full confidence in our leadership group and Ange off-field as well.
5th pre-season, how has it changed, I guess, from the first year that you came in, and not just, I guess, the physical capacity, but the program going as a whole?
It certainly hasn't got easier. We are running more than we've ever run before. We had a 12K session last week, so it's certainly upping the ante each and every year. But I think the skills, I would say, have just developed so much, and it just is because we don't have as many cross-coders coming in. We actually have these footballers coming in from 6 years old, played Auskick, know how to kick a ball, as well as if we do have the cross-coders coming in, we're just really focusing on those fundamentals. We have deadly time, we call it, which is our touch sessions. So just getting a ball in hand and really just trying to practice the things we need to work on, because that's how they translate to gameplay.
And I guess back when you first started, you didn't have 12-month contracts, did you? It's evolved so much, and the fact that you get so much support. I read that you guys were doing some female health stuff the other day. Like, how cool is it to do that and be treated as a professional athlete?
Yeah, it's so amazing. I have to pinch myself every day that I'm a female getting paid to play sport. And it's just unreal that AFLW has grown so much, and we know that it's going to continue to grow. And 12-month contracts are amazing for us, knowing we've got that security to get paid all year round, but knowing how we can then budget, how we can work around our work hours as well outside of football is really important for us. And I think that just enables us to be here present 100% of the time as well. Otherwise, you're thinking about all the other things you've got to do in your outside life to maintain, to be able to live, really. So I think it's really important that we have that security as well as that time to practice those things like the fundamentals that I mentioned before.
You got Matching today, you've got Matching coming up against Eagles, and you've got a practice match against Collingwood. How important are those opportunities before first round against Essendon? So
important. I think the pre-season matches are They mean a lot, but I think we also have put in the body of work to enable us to do well in them. And I'm not saying we're not going to do well, but it's just a learning curve, and it's a learning point of you're out there playing against an opposition. It's always different to playing against your teammates. So I think there'll be a lot of key takeaways from it, and the outcome doesn't matter. So I just hope the girls go and give it their all. And I think our main message has been take it step by step as well. We can't get ahead of ourselves. We can't be thinking what's going to happen in round 3. We can't be thinking who's going to be selected, and we can't be thinking about finals footy. We've got to take round 1, round 2, round 3 and just keep going like that as it comes, because each week is going to be different.
Defensively last year you guys were rock solid, but I guess where you fell away was that forward. Who's really stood up and said, hey, I want to be the leading goal kicker? You know, you mentioned about 1,000 goals and stuff like that, but who's really standing up and taking that mantle on the back to give more scoreboard pressure for you guys this year?
Yeah, no, great question. I think we have a lot of players that are utility players, which I think is so important to have that versatility amongst the group, because we are throwing the magnets around quite a bit, which I think is, again, so important in this pre-season block. Like I said, the likes of Laura Pugh going forward to help out Anya Ty as a tool, having Gabby Newton come in as a key position player as well. She can flick both forward, back, mid, so it's really cool to have those tools down there with Anya, because I feel like in the past we probably relied on Anya as our key forward, and then she gets womaned up by 3 people and it's really hard to get her the ball. So I think having a few other tools down there, but then knowing we have our small forwards, Megs Kaufman, Ash Max come in as well from the Eagles. I think she's going to provide that electric energy down there. Amy Mulholland, Michaela Takarena on the floor crumbing, they are really dangerous. So I think we've got a really good dynamic, and the more we connect as a forward line, the better it's going to be. And the only way you can do that is by practicing.
We talk about practice. You're practicing some lovely faces over there. Tell us about squirrel eyes and what they mean.
Squirrel eyes, oh my goodness. So if anyone has ever seen me play footy, I get these really like hyper fixated, focused eyes that are just like wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, I would say, because my tail is certainly wagging every time I play footy, but I don't know what it is. It must be the no-dose pre-game or a few coffees, but the caffeine kicks in and I'm wired and ready to go. And I just think for me, I have ADHD, and having that hyperfixation element allows me to be 100% at footy when I'm at footy, and all I'm focusing on is the football, probably a little bit too much because I do ball watch quite a bit. But I think knowing I get out there and I cross that line, have a bit of white line fever, I think is a sign that I'm ready to go. And I think without the squirrel eyes, I wouldn't be the player I am.
Last one. Talk about how you select your leaders, because I know every group does differently. You talked about, being chosen by your peers means so much, but tell us about the process. You come together, is it open voting? Do you write it down? Give us an insight.
Yeah, so we have players nominate to be in the leadership group. We actually had 12 players nominate this year, which I think is a massive testament to the program and the way that we are trying to empower everyone to be a leader. So, like I said, we had a lot of young girls nominate. We had girls, like I said, all the way through, coming in, nominating, putting their hand up, and being really brave in that aspect as well, because it's not easy to put your hand up and potentially not get selected. So the fact that we had 12 was really great. It did mean the vote was really tricky though. We did sit down with our ballot papers, and I know for me, I took a good 6 minutes to be able to decide who I wanted to put in, because everyone deserved to be there. It was just going to be a matter of listing them out. We had 8 through to 1, 8 being the top votes, and really to nominate 8 people and have to put that down in order was really tough. So it ended up being that, and then the players all voted, and we had our full-time staff vote as well. So no one outside the program really. Everyone that was full-time here were the only ones that voted, which I think is really important, because often the club don't actually know a lot of what's going on in the 4 walls, but with us as well. So I think it's really important that it was just the girls and staff voting, and it ended up being a phenomenal leadership group. We've had 6 girls in as well, which in the past we've only had 5. So I think the change is going to be really positive.